I am going to be in this chamber, and I am submitting myself before the country in protest. My constitutional rights are violated in this committee. I'm sorry to say, let me be detained in this chamber and be cited in contempt.
Mr. Chairman,
I will not participate if my constitutional right will not be guaranteed. You are not here
Mr. Chairman,
to decide for my constitutional
please,
right.
let me finish.
there's a point of order, the Honorable
Let me finish.
Fernandez.
What I'm saying, I am not telling you to stop. What I'm saying is, my out of order. Sandali, makinig ka. My out of order is all about your manifestation to stay on out. Patapusin mo ako.
Yes, sir.
Huwag ka may bastos.
Hindi ako bastos.
Patapusin mo ako. Mr. Chairman.
I feel, and it is my right to state before this committee and the August Chamber of Congress, that this committee is not above the law. No one in government is above the law. We are a government of laws. I am protected under the Soto law. I have the constitutional right. I requested per record that I may be given competent advice and assistance of a legal counsel, and such right is guaranteed by the Constitution. And such right is also stipulated clearly in Section 12 of the Governing House Rules pertaining to committee hearing and conduct of investigation. And even if I am not in a court trial, the right to seek out counsel advice and assistance from a counsel is a part of principle of due process, a principle guaranteed by the Constitution. And I believe before I answer any further question, may I manifest respectfully and humbly before this committee that all the statements, even after under oath, in the absence of competent legal advice and assistance previously, may be granted to be stricken off the record because I believe my constitutional rights were violated.
Point of order. The answer manifestation of Mr. Celis is out of order. He is out of order because you cannot dictate this house and you cannot move. Only members that you ask members of this house.
Yes, I am explaining.
No,
I am not moving.
no, your manifestation is out of order.
I am
Do
requesting.
not lecture us
No, I'm
about
not
the rules
lecturing.
of this.
I am standing up for my right. I am standing up for my right.
Remember, we might cite you contempt.
Then so be it. Your Honor.
You challenge us?
Yes,
Okay.
if that will be seen in the nation na walang karapatan ang mga invited guests dito na magpahayag, Your Honor, with due respect to you, I do not believe na ang kongresong ito ay lalabag sa karapatan ng mga
Mr.
mamamayan.
Chairman,
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
So be it, Your Honor.
we're out of order. And what's the position of the chair?
I will need, Mr. Chairman, I will not give up my right to free speech and be respected under the Constitution because this August Chamber is obligated by law.
Sandali lang po.
Mr. Chairman,
Irene.
may I explain why
Yes, the Honorable Akop is recognized and I understand yung sinasabi po ng ating mga ng ating bisita. Pero alam po ninyo, kung ang ginagamit niyo po ay yung hearing nung huli at wala kayong representasyon, hindi po namin kasalanan. Kasalanan po ng mga abogado ng SMNI dahil sila mismo on record ang nagsabi na they are here to represent SMNI and not the anchors because dumistansya nga ho sila. Ang sabi nila, hindi po namin trabaho ang bigyan ng representasyon ang anchor. That's why nung humingi po kayo, ang pinaliwanag ko, hindi ho pwede sila magdepensa sa inyo. Dapat ho humingi kayo ng iba. Dahil hindi ho pwede sila ang magdepensa because they are on record. Under oath, ang sabi nila, kami abogado ng SMNI at hindi kami abogado ng mga anchor. Klaro po yan, Kyrie.
Your Honor, if I may please.
You're not allowed. I'm going, yes.
I just like to explain why I cite him is out of order. Because he manifested that the previous records should be taken out of records. And as resource person, they are not allowed.
Your Honor, I am going to be in this chamber and I am submitting myself before the country in protest. My constitutional rights
are violated in this committee. I'm sorry to say, let me be detained in this chamber and be cited in contempt.
Mr. Chairman.
I will not participate if my constitutional right will not be guaranteed. You are not here
Mr. Chairman.
to decide for my constitutional right.
Let me finish.
There's a point of order, the Honorable
Let me finish.
Fernandez.
What I'm saying, I am not telling you to stop. What I'm saying is, my out of order. Listen to me. Makinig ka. My out of order is all about your manifestation. Stay ko now. Patapusin mo ako.
Yes, sir.
Huwag ka may bastos.
Hindi ako bastos.
Patapusin mo ako. Mr. Chairman, I would just like to correct. I am not stopping him to issue statement. What I'm saying is, and what I'm pointing out over there is the manifestation that the previous statement and the previous record should be taken out of order. And under the rules, he's not allowed to do it. Point of order.
Fernandez. Honorable ako is recognized.
Mr. Celis, please be reminded that in this committee and this house, we have rules to follow. Hindi po ba namin sinusunod yung mga rules? Matanong po nga ako.
Yes, sir. I feel that is
And
my...
I would like to remind you that these rules are supposed to be followed by members of this committee and by the witnesses or resource persons to be present. And one of these rules is that before you can speak, you ask permission from the chairman. Kami nga, hindi kami nagsasalita na walang permission yung chairman. You better follow that rule. Otherwise, baka mapilitan akong gawin yung hindi ko dapat gawin. Thank you.
The Honorable...
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair.
Yes. Wait, I think the Honorable Ace Barbers.
I was raising a point of order earlier, but
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you that.
It's okay,
My
Mr.
apologies.
Chairman. Mr. Chairman, kasi gusto ko lang i-refresh yung memory ng ating resource person na no one is curtailing your right. In fact, kaya ka nga nandito, binibigyan ka ng panahon, ng oras para magsalita. But do not play to the crowd saying that your rights are violated in this committee. It's not. Tayo ay nasa demokrasya, di ba? I believe you were former member of the NPA.
Yes, sir.
Di ba? At alam mo kung ano yung pinaglalaban natin dito, di ba? So, never, ever insult the committee, much more any of the members of this committee. Kasi medyo yun ang affront. Yun ang affront sa amin. And do not challenge us to do what we feel is right to do to you because you might not like it. I'm just going to remind him of that, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
The Honorable Ace Barbers. Any other member that would like to speak?
I believe that this is an aid an inquiry in aid of legislation, and resource persons should be reminded that they should observe proper decorum. I'd just like to remind all the resource persons that under Section 11, this inquiry, or for that matter, Congress has the power to contempt. The committee may punish any person for contempt by a vote of 2/3 of the members present, there being a quorum. And there are 6 grounds for contempt, one of which is letter A, acting in a disrespectful manner towards any member of the committee or any misbehavior in the presence of the committee. So, Mr. Chair, we do not want to cite a resource person for contempt. Kaya nakikiusap kami sa iyo, Kahit, na kung pwede, please respect this committee and observe proper decorum. Nasa rules po natin na you cannot speak if you are not recognized by the chair. Actually, naka-strike 1 na po kayo, Kahit. Kanina, you were not recognized by the chair but you kept on talking. So again, may I advise Kahit, we are not suppressing your rights, but also respect this committee and observe proper decorum.
And last hearing, I just want to remind you, you apologize to the committee because the statements that you issued in your show kasama ang bayan, tama po ba yan?
Yes, Your
Yaman
Honor.
kasama ang bayan. Humingi ka man ng paumanhin dahil yung sinabi mong 1.8 billion ay walang katotohanan. Sinabi niyo yun. Ngayon, sinabi mo, ang source mo ay galing sa Kongreso. Sinabi ko mula sa House of Representatives, ang sabi niyo po ay hindi po House. Dalawa po yung House, Congress at Senate. Sinabi niyo, kinonfirm niyo na lalaki na taga-Senado. Ngayon po, naglabas na po ng statement, mismong Senate President na ang nagsasabi. Hindi lang ito nanggagaling sa amin, although I am pressing hard that I want you to reveal that source because we want to find out the truth. Mr. Celis, the truth, and nothing is more important than the truth. So I'm asking you nicely, who is your source?
I will not answer it because I am protected by law as per advice in conference with my lawyers here. I am protected by the SOTO law. Unless the SOTO law is repealed, I will be under the protection of the SOTO law. Republic Act number 53.
Alam nyo, lagi nyo sinasabi yung Soto Law. Ano pong portion ng Soto Law ang tinutukoy mo? Anong particular provision sa Soto Law?
Mr. Chairman, may I be allowed to read the pertinent provision from the SOTO law? Without prejudice, this is section 1 of 11458 as amended. Without prejudice to his inability or ability under the civil and criminal laws, any publisher, owner, or duly recognized or accredited journalist, whether reporter, writer, contributor, opinion writer, editor, columnist, manager of media, or other media practitioner involved in the writing, editing, production, and dissemination of news or mass circulation of any print, broadcast, wire service organization, or electronic mass media, including cable TV, television, and its variants, cannot be compelled to reveal the source of any news item, report, or information appearing or being reported or disseminated through other or the said media which was related in confidence or reported in confidence. Above mentioned media practitioners, unless the court or the House of Representatives or the Senate or any committee of Congress finds that such revelation is demanded by the national security of the state.
Ang unang provision sinabi nyo, accredited journalist.
Hindi naman siya accredited.
Kayo ba'y accredited
Hindi.
journalist?
Hindi.
Kahit kayo po ang tinatanong ko. Kayo po ba'y accredited journalist?
The accreditation or the license to practice journalism does not require any particular organization or government entity to give us license or accreditation for broadcast. If you are referring, Mr. Chairman, to KBP, membership to KBP is voluntary. KBP is not an absolute regulatory power for broadcast.
So ano
They are like an NGO and private organization.
Ano pong basihan nyo, ano basihan ng provision niyan? Noong sinabi niya kailangan accredited, is kayo nag-cite ng batas. Kayo nag-cite ng prohibition.
Mr. Chairman,
Accredited journalist, hindi yung kayo, sino dapat mag-accredit sa inyo?
SMNI is an accredited and franchise-granted media. And therefore, the prerogative and the decision for editorial decision who can broadcast or cannot broadcast in their station rest with the franchise granted to them. Therefore, hindi po kami required na maghingi ng pahintulot sa gobyerno na mag-broadcast kami doon. Dahil kami po ay bahagi ng isang media organization na may legitimate existence as granted by franchise.
Yes, but remember, may disclaimer din na, kung yan ang gagawin na agreement, may disclaimer po last hearing yan. Ang sabi ng SMNI, hindi po nila pananagutan ang gagawin nyo. At hindi na nga rin kayo empleyado, sabi nila. So, ergo, hindi ko namin agad-agad kaya tanggapin yung inyong mungkahi. Pangalawa, I would like to remind you that this is a house inquiry which is provided for by the SOTA law. And third, tatanungan ko, security of state, binanggit nyo. Ano po ibig nyo? Ito ba yung security of state? Tingin nyo itong issue to, which is an exception.
Ang 1.8 billion na pagtatanong ko po, Your Honors, Mr. Chairman, ay hindi po threat to national security. Kapag ito po ay tinatanong ng mga media practitioners at ang mamamayan patungkol sa tamang pangangalaga sa pundo ng bayan. And I believe Congress is not exempted from public transparency and accountability in the disposal of public funds.
Alam po ninyo.
It is not an issue of public national security.
Yes. Alam po niyo yung katanungan. Alam po niyo yung security of state sa amin. Ito po yung sinabi niyo na empleyado ng Senado ang nagbigay sa amin. Yan po ay seguridad ng ating institusyon, seguridad ng ating bayan. So kaya po, ito po ay hindi nyo po pwede i-cite ang Sotolo. Mabuti po, marami na po ang posisyon. At ito pinag-aralan po natin, may abogado po kayo, dahil po kami mga abogado dito, may mga researchers po kami. At ang Sotolo ay hindi po applicable dito sa sinasite nyo. Sa tatlong diyanong po, pare-pareho, hindi po pwede yan.
Mr. Chair, it is very clear that Mr. Celis does not want to answer the question to reveal the source, whether in this inquiry or in executive session. So therefore, Mr. Chair, under Section 11, the power to contempt, letter E, grounds for contempt is for a resource person
Papa-contempt.
refusal to answer any relevant inquiry. Actually, Mr. Chair, Mr. Celis has already violated two provisions of Section 11. The first one, acting in a disrespectful manner, and the second one, which is very more important rather, is his refusal to answer the question in a relevant inquiry. On this note, Mr. Chair, I move to contempt, to cite for contempt Mr. Celis for on these two grounds under Section
Nako po.
11. So move, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion.
Second the motion.
Second. Any objection? There's a motion, duly seconded. Any objections from any member, Mr. Chairman, of this committee? There being no objections, on a unanimous vote, the Kahit is cited for
Nacontempt. Nacontempt si Ka-Eric.
The chair would like to call the Honorable Pimentel to manifest his demotion on the line.
Mr. Chair, I would like to amend my previous motion. Therefore, Mr. Chair, I move to detain Mr. Celis for he was cited in contempt until the adoption of the committee report at the plenary session, Mr. Chair. So move.
Okay, so that is also an amendment to the motion of the Honorable Akop early on. There's a motion amending the motion of the Honorable Akop. Any second? Seconded? The chair hearing no objection. The chair adopts and approves the motion of the Honorable Johnny Pimentel. So the Sergeant of Arms is hereby directed to enforce the decision of this committee.
Mr. Chair, can I make a comment, Mr. Chair?
Session suspended. Attorney to repeat.
Thank you for this kind of report.
Session suspended.
Thank you for this kind of report. Thank you for this kind of report.
Yes.
Can you Chair, please reiterate the due process that the committee followed in relation to the contempt order that was issued against Mr. Celis? Isa-isa lang natin para klaro.
Well, there was a, he was allowed to speak. 4 times you asked the question. The Honorable Suarez asked the question. 4 times he refused to reply. And we even, the Honorable Chaco even afforded him a executive session. And again, he refused. So obviously, he will refuse to answer any question that Honorable Suarez will ask, and he would always cite a law which is unacceptable to this committee because it does not, it is not the intent of that law.
Okay.
He cannot hide under that.
Thank you
That's
very
what the
much.
committee is saying.
Yeah, the reason why I asked Mr. Chair is because, going back to our last
And
hearing.
lastly, he was given a counsel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, last hearing kasi, inamin niya na mali yung source niya at humingi na siya ng pumanhin. So para gamitin pa yung SOTO law, it's not anymore applicable to him because sinabi niya ng mali. Ang hinihingi na lang natin kung sino. Kung sino dahil may kinalaman po ito sa relasyon ng mababang kapulungan at ng Senado. At pati po Senado, I won't be surprised kung kayo po ay magpupumilit na hindi magsasabi ng totoo, I won't be surprised if the Senate might conduct their own inquiry into this matter as well. Because you have already involved the Senate into this misinformation and fake news. So, Attorney Tolentino, as counsel to Mr. Celis, are you willing to cooperate with the committee?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Earlier, I was a little bit offended. Your client stood up and uttered some words. Are you supportive with that, with your clients?
I'd like to
Do you share?
apologize.
Do you share the same sentiment as your client, Attorney Tolentino?
One statement, Mr. Chair.
When he called the court kangaroo court, when he called this committee kangaroo,
Maybe that's his opinion, Mr. Chair.
and you do not share it,
No, Mr. Chair.
do you think it is right?
I cannot answer that, Mr. Chair, because I believe still there's attorney-client privilege. I cannot talk if not authorized by a client, Mr. Chair.